Morning. Good morning. Let me take my microphone. Sorry for the delay. Microphone. All right. The stream, right? Just feel like streaming. Saturday morning. Yes, my friend. So that we can just discuss on something that is very. I'm so grateful that to go through this. It's not easy. Studies, academics. It's not easy at all. But I'm just grateful that I've been scaled through this week and the message from WhatsApp telling me that they have to jam again. That's pop. Those people that missed their jam, so due to one or two issues, probably they didn't know their venue or stuff like that. So there's jam up exam. So I don't know for them. Although he said I should send him past questions, I don't have access to those past questions again. Although it is in our WhatsApp group, but I don't have access to those past questions. So basically today we'll be discussing on something. Yes, discussing on something that is very important, and this involves students. This also involves me as an individual, right? When it comes to study, so if you find out if I'm to shift this my phone behind and find out I am here on my reading table, I'm sitting here, get to see my books, get to see my textbook, you get to see my highlighter, my pen, you get to find out that I am about to study before I hit up this live stream. And I felt it's very, very important I hit up this live stream to talk to students, right? To talk to students on what really concerns us, which is our study. The major reason, that's why they say student, right? Student, study, right? We are here to study. So basically, I want to talk about something that concerns us as students, and that is how we can be able to study as students, right? And not just how we can be able to study as students, but how we can be able to study as students with no motivation, right? It's one thing to want to study, but it's another thing to have the motivation to study. I know someone that whenever before he wants to study, he gets to Atimba, Pepper, what's up? Pepper, what's up, bro? So before he study, he gets to watch motivational videos on YouTube, get to listen to motivational music and stuff like that. But ask me a very simple question one day. I told him that what if you want to study and this you don't have access to these motivational videos, you don't have access to this motivational music. How are you going to do it? How will you still study? Right? So the guy was just like, I will try, I will try, I will try. Right? That was when I told him that, bro, you can also study without motivation as a student. It is very, very important you train yourself to study without motivation. So I spoke to him on some tips on how you can be able to start studying without motivation. And I was like right now on my reading table, I want to study. So that was when the idea just came to my head right now that, this stuff that you spoke to this guy, this tip you gave to this guy, why not just go on live stream, this, even this for like 1 hour or 30 minutes and just share. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. Why not just go on live stream and just share the same ideas to people who are online, right? So I had to set up my phone and immediately started this live stream. So we are going to talk about how we can be able to study as a student without motivation. Can get to see a lot of people online watching of this live stream. You are welcome to my YouTube live stream. My name is Basi Ejogba. I'm a 400 level student at the University of Calabar studying medical laboratory science. And in this channel, I help students level up their academic game. I also share food tips on this channel focusing on personal development. So you are welcome to my YouTube live stream section. Please don't forget to hit on the red subscribe button. Before you go, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can continue getting updates like this, and so that I will feel motivated to also continue doing this stuff, right? So talking about studying without motivation, right? Motivation is simply an external factor, right? Motivation is simply external, right? How can we be able to study without motivation? Number one is that you have to stop waiting for motivation. The best way you can start studying, or you can be able to study without motivation, is for you to simply stop waiting for motivation. Now, waiting for motivation is something that comes and fades, right? When it comes to motivation, motivation is like a fuel, right? Motivation is like a drive, something that pushes you to start doing something. But the thing is that motivation does not last, right? You get that motivation to start doing something. You will continue doing it too, right? You do it, do it, do it, do it. But along the way, motivation will just disappear. And when this motivation disappear, what happens? You get that was the first thing I told that guy, that you have to start studying without motivation first before you start doing something. YouTube to start watching motivational videos that will enable you, that will ginger you to study, listening to motivational music that will help you to study. No, all those things are not really necessary. Alright, so you have to stop waiting for motivation. And one of the ways you can stop waiting for motivation, like I said, is that you have to instill discipline in yourself. You have to instill discipline. And there's something also that, okay, let me just talk about discipline. You're supposed to do even when you don't feel like doing it. You understand? Doing it. That is what is known as discipline. Now, discipline is very, very important because discipline outweighs fit. The moment you discipline yourself that, oh, this is what I am supposed to do, or this is what I will do, you get to find out that motivation will go, but the ability for you to discipline yourself will still keep you going. The ability to tell yourself that, no, bro, I am supposed to do this at this particular point in time, even when I don't feel like doing it, will still keep you going. Right? In physics, there's something that is known as inertia, or I don't know how you call it, inertia. That is INERTIA. That is the inertia, right? So inertia is simply a driving force, right? For physics, we call it inertia. For chemistry, we call it the activation energy. It's simply the minimum amount of energy that is required for a reaction to start taking place, right? The ability for you to drive up something, right? The ability for you to start off something, that is what is known as the activation energy, or that's what is also known as the word inertia. You have to overcome. Inertia is like the minimum, that energy that you have to overcome, right? For a react for you to start, for a reaction to start taking place. It's just like as if you carry a wheelbarrow. Let's use a scenario where you take a wheelbarrow, you want to go and fish water, right? So you keep 4 to 5, let's say you take 4 rubbers or 4 20 liters on that wheelbarrow, and you fill those 4 20 liters with water, right? The moment you put it on that wheelbarrow and you want to start pushing it, you get to find out that the amount of energy you will use to push that wheelbarrow will be very high, right? Because you have to put in that energy to carry the wheelbarrow up and to push it, right? That energy, or that initial energy you use in pushing up that wheelbarrow, that is what is known as the initial, right? So you must overcome that minimum energy for that reaction to start taking place. So what you need right now is discipline and momentum. Momentum will keep you going, right? Momentum will keep you going. Just like let me use myself as a YouTuber. I like using myself as a YouTuber almost all the time, right? I like using myself as a content creator. Let me just say content creator almost all the time. The thing is, balancing academics and content creation is not something that is easy. It's one of the most difficult thing on earth right now. I believe, for me right now, it's one of the most difficult thing. But the thing is, when it comes to content creation, I've already disciplined myself that content creation is not something that's going to take the whole of my life, right? Just 1 hour or 2 hour of investing in it daily is enough, right? And I discipline myself. Like, you get to see me coming on live on Saturday, you get to see me coming on live on Sundays, right? It's not that right now I don't have something to do. Like I said, I am on my reading table. This is my reading table, my books. This is my textbook. These are my books. This is my highlighter, and this is my pen. That means I'm already studying, right? But I got to find out that checking from the time is almost 12 o'clock. And like I told myself that I will be coming online on YouTube by 12 o'clock, right? So the ability for me to discipline myself that, bro, I have to come here live on YouTube, right? Or yes, the ability for me to tell myself that I have to come here live on YouTube before 12 o'clock. That is what is known as discipline. And you can also do it in your academics. When you've already set out your study timetable, you already know that this is it. I don't know what's wrong with this my phone. I don't know. It's safe is turning. Uh, so the ability for you to tell yourself that okay, by 7 p.m. I will start studying, right? By 7 p.m. I will start studying. Even and it gets to that 7 p.m. right? Even when you don't feel like studying, because when it comes to study, the moment you keep your book that you want to study, that is the time social media will get that is the time you start seeing messages that will be very sweet on social media. That is the time that your friend probably will bring a gist that is something that is very very interesting, or that is the time that things will be happening, and before you know it you have spent 5 hours, sorry, 5 hours is too much. You have spent 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and almost an hour, right? Just either scrolling on social media or doing something that is not going to add value to you at that particular point in time. So you just have to activate your energy. You just have to activate your energy, which in chemistry is the activation energy. The minimum what amount of what energy that you are supposed to what get in order for a reaction to what start what taking place, right? So what you simply have to do is you have to go to your reading table, you sit down and start studying. Now the thing is, when you start studying, like I said, if you tell yourself that okay, I want to study for 2 hours, you get to find out that you study just for 5 minutes, and before you know it you start falling asleep. There's someone online who is watching this video. Please, can you just drop in your comments, let me know whether you're following. Someone is online. Hello, good morning. Can you please just drop in comment, let me know whether you're following up. How you doing, bro? Is it a bro? Is it a sis? How you doing? If you're watching me, please just drop in your comment in the comment section. Yo, Durex, what's up? Well, bro, I know that someone was following me up. That's why I just had to. I was like, who is this person that has been following me up since? That's why I had to just say it. How's it going now, bro? All right. So basically, we are just trying to talk about how you can study, how students can be able to study without motivation. Because why I'm bringing up this is because of what the encounter I had earlier this week. That was either on Monday or Tuesday, when I was trying to meet up with students who, before the guys started studying, what he would do is to go on YouTube and start watching motivational videos, like things that will ginger him to start studying, right? So I have to start telling him that, bro, what you are doing is something that is not is good though, but it's not sustainable in the long run. Because what if your phone is no longer there? What if you don't have access to YouTube to watch videos to ginger yourself to study? That means you won't study again. So I had to give him some tips, and that's why today I felt like, okay, let me also bring it up on YouTube to just talk about it for 30 minutes or for an hour. So that is just it. You're welcome to my live stream section, bro. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. So you just have to start studying. Now if you tell your brain that I want to study for 2 hours, now 2 hours is so big. Like right now as I'm here like this, if I want to calculate 2 hours, 2 hours is so big, and the brain will easily get tired. So instead of telling yourself that I want to study for 2 hours, what you simply tell yourself is I want to study just for 20 minutes. I just want to study for 20 minutes. Now, the moment you start, this is how it works. This is not rocket science. This is something that you can easily apply. This is something that you can easily try. The moment you want to start studying, don't tell yourself, I want to study from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Rather, tell yourself that I want to study from 7 o'clock to 7:30. Just do it. Anytime you want to study, just do it. Now, you find out that the moment you start studying, let's say, okay, this is chemistry, right? This is new school chemistry. So let's say, okay, I want to start studying from 7 o'clock to 7:30, and I choose a particular topic here in this textbook, right? And I start studying. Now, the psychology there is that as you are studying, your spirit, right? Let me use spirit. Your soul or your spirit will start entering that book. I don't know how to put it so you understand, but your spirit or your soul will start entering that book. The more you read, the more you enter deep, right? The more you read, the more you enter deep. Before you know, you get to find out that it's already 7:30, and by that time you're already deep inside the book. You will not want to come out. That is a trick. That is a trick I use in. If I want to study for a long time, that's what the trick I use. I will just trick myself that okay, let me study for just 30 minutes. Now, the moment you just start studying for that 30 minutes, you get to find out that you start enjoying it. You start enjoying it. You start enjoying it. Before you know it, you check the time. It's already 7:30. Now you not just want to when it comes to pleasure, right? Everybody loves pleasure. I love pleasure. You love pleasure. You understand? And our pleasure, what gives us pleasures varies, right? Now, there's nobody that will be enjoying his or her pleasure and will want to end it halfway. Okay, tips or positive, right? Okay, I will talk about it in, just give me the next 10 minutes. Just give me the next 10 minutes. Let me just summarize this, how to study without motivation. I will give you tips on post UTME. I will just give you tips on post UTME right now. Which of the institution do you apply for, bro? Which of the institution and probably your course? So like I said, the moment you continue enjoying it, as you are enjoying it, enjoying it, before you know it, 1 hour will pass, 1 hour 30 minutes will pass, and 2 hours will enter. Right? So that is how you start studying without what? Motivation. Secondly is that when you want to start studying, if you want to make, or if you want to start, okay, architecture. All right, I will talk about post UTME. Just give me a little time. And also questions, I've been able to get some of the post UTME questions in some of the institutions. Had opportunity 2025 questions as per se, but I've been able to get access to the post UTME questions over time, and I've been able to see some of the questions that repeats itself, right? So I made a video on possible post UTME questions for 2025. And when I say possible, I know what I always say. Whenever I say something is possible, there's a high probability that you are going to see it in your exam. So I've made a video on it. You can just check through my channel, possible chemistry questions for post UTME students. Right? For those of you that will be writing post UTME, University of Calabar, Unilag, OAU, Uniben, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. So I made a video on that. So secondly is that if you want to make studying sweet, if you want to make studying easy without motivation, is that you should have a study space. You should have a study table, and you also have what? A study what? Chair. Right? It's deceptive if you say you can study when you are lying down, like on the bed. You go to the bed and you are sleeping and you say you are studying. Yes, you can do it too, but it's deceptive because there's a probability there's high chances that you easily fall off, like you fall asleep, right? And the moment you lose the brain pleasure, right, it makes the brain so relaxed, and that is how you just find yourself there before you know it, you just sleep off. If you want to really make studying easy without motivation, is that you should have a study table. Right, this is my study table. When I remember when I started my year one, I used to sit down on the ground, like on the floor in the room, and was studying. That was back then in 2021. I used to sit down on the floor and study. But I had to save up money, save up money, save up money. You know, someone that just I entered my year one in 2021. Yes. So someone year one student, right? So I have to start doing job on campus, like doing assignment for my classmates, and like all those running errands for my classmates and stuff like that. One day I'm going to talk about it, how you can be able to make money on campus as a student, like just by serving your classmate, help students run errands, one or two stuff like that, and I make money. That was how I was able to save money until I got my reading table and I got my reading chair. That was when I got it. That was one of the most, like, that day was one of the most happiest day of my life, because I was really proud of myself, right? And it really helped my studying, going to the ground to sit down study. The moment I sit on this table, I said that okay, this time that I want to start studying, there will be no form of. That means if you have to study for 1 hour, like I said, you can start to study for 50 minutes, I have a 10-minute break, or you can even start to study for 25 minutes. I have a 5 minute break, come back and study for 25 minutes, and have a 5 minute break. So that one is what is known as the Pomodoro what technique, right? And also you should also use the active learning technique. Use the active learning technique. I've been talking about the active learning technique in my videos. I've been talking about the active learning technique, a lot of famous technique and the rest, right? So you can check it out. You can check out my videos where I talk about this active learning technique, and I believe they will really be helpful to you, and it will help you enjoy your study. Whenever you want to study, you will surely enjoy it, right? And lastly is that you should stay consistent. It's one thing to start, it's one thing for you to continue, right? A lot of people, as they are on it, before you know it, they will just lost it to continue, and that is the end for that vision, or that is the end for that dream. Is that you should stay consistent on what you are doing, stay consistent on it, celebrate your small wins. If you are someone that must listen to motivational videos before you study, then if you are someone that listens to motivational video before you study, and you started studying without motivational videos, started studying without motivational music, then I believe a course of celebration, right? So you should always celebrate your small wins, right? If you are someone that studies for only 1 hour 30 minutes, then it calls for celebration. So you should always make sure you celebrate your small wins. Your small wins move your eye from another person win, right? Because you are number one, right? You are number one, which is your starting point. Like your starting point might be another person ending. That means where you are starting is where some people are starting from, right? And where you are starting from is where some people are going to end. So you get to find that our journey is very different, whether we are of the same age, whether we are not the same age. You understand? I came with a different destiny, and you are there with a different destiny, and each of us have our roles to play in making the world a better place, right? So you should always celebrate your small wins. If you study for 1 hour, maybe the next day study for 1 hour 30 minutes, 2 hours, then it calls for celebration. And like I say, track your progress. Always track your progress and see how far you have been. There are some days that will not work out the way you have planned it to be. Then I don't think there's any need for you to be hard on yourself, right? Any day that probably you wanted to study, and because of you studying you just fall asleep, I just believe that maybe that is how it's supposed to be, and just forgive yourself on it, right? So that is just it, how you can be able to study without motivation. So I'm just trying to check my book right now. I'm just for Nurex. This one now is for post-UTME students, although I didn't plan to talk about it today, but since there's someone already requesting for it here on the live stream section, then I believe I'm going to talk about it. And this is how you smash that post-UTME. Like me, I like talking about, I like using that statement smash, right? Everything there, right? So first of all, when it comes to is the ability for writing their post-UTME. Is your school writing their post-UTME CBT? Is it CBT or is it paper type, right? That is the number one thing you are supposed to know. You are supposed to understand your school post-UTME pattern. Secondly is that you have to understand, or you have to know the number of questions that your school gives when it comes to the post-UTME. What is the number of questions? You know, it varies, right? So I'm not going to conclude for other universities, but you already know yourself, you already know the school you are applying for. So you have to know the number of questions they set for their post-UTME, which is very important. Knowing the number of questions will enable you prepare, right? So when you know the number of questions they will be setting, then it will enable you, or it will give you a direction towards the time duration for the exams. You understand? Is it 2 hours, is it 1 hour, or is it 1 hour 30 minutes for your school post-UTME? Then I think it's very important you find out. And also it is important to find out whether the school is doing negative marking, right? I was in my year 4 that I had experience of what as negative marking, and is a type of marking that is not good at all. Negative marking is a type of marking that is not good at all, right? So you have to know whether your school is also doing negative marking. And number two is that you're almost getting to. Number two is that you have to focus on high yield topics, right? Preparing for your post like a post jam, right? It's a post jam exam, right? After jam exam, that's the name, post after jam exam. You have to focus on high yield topics. The same way you prepared for your jam, the same way you prepare for your, right? But now you have to focus on high yield topics. High yield topics are topics that, for checking from your from the school you want to attend, check their positive past question. You get to find out that there are some topics in a particular subject that question comes out more than others, right? The moment you see it, that will automatically let you know that that topic is a high yield topic, and that topic questions will always come out from there any year. You understand? So you have to focus on those high topics. Make sure you study those high topics and understand what you are studying, right? So you have to focus on high yield topics and what past questions strategically. So Nurex games, do you have like post CTME past questions? Do you have their post CTME past questions? Because if you want to start preparing for your post CTME, like I always tell people, from when I used to talk about jam, right? It's not just you reading your textbook, it's the ability for you to get the past questions of the exam you want to write, so that past questions will give you an idea of how the exams look like in that particular school. You understand? So you have to get their past questions and use their past questions strategically. Make sure you study their past questions alongside as you are studying. Like if you are studying a particular subject, let's say you are studying chemistry, then you should also make sure you have that particular institution you are applying for, you should have their past questions pertaining to chemistry and study it. That means if you, let me give you something. Let's say you keep that past question, right? Before you start studying, what you do is, let me show you something. So let's assume, where is this book, right? Let's assume this is our book. Let's assume this is our book, right? If, hello Majid, welcome to my live stream section. So let's say, okay, this is your book, right? Before you start reading for any exam, right, when it comes to like jam and position, what you simply do is take a piece of paper and number this pens back. This one, this way. Take a piece of paper and number it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to any number, right? Now if you find out, sure you are seeing these numbers, I don't know where you can see it well. Now when you see these numbers, they take that paper, go to that past questions, that past question you want to work on, right? So check the past question, read number 1 question and answer, read number 2 question and answer. Now when you are done, maybe it's 50 question that is there. One is A, me I wrote B, fail yourself. Number 1 is A, I have it. You understand? Then when you are done, right, those ones that you fail, now take it to your textbook. Take that particular topic that you fail to your textbook and see how you can understand it and see how you feel or what made you to fail that particular topic. You understand? That is how you can be able, that is how you can be able to use your past questions very strategically. You understand me, bro? Nurex, right? And for those of you that want to write post UTME, so you should use your past questions, very questions. No, don't try it. Don't do it like that. Don't study past question patterns. See, there's something I always know: follow simple instructions like I always tell them, when you are preparing for exam, don't just study your textbook. Make sure you buy past questions. I know there is no money, but you have smartphone. Use your smartphone. There are past questions online. Use these past questions online and help yourself instead of waiting for your parents to give you money before you go and buy physical hard copy past questions, right? And when you are using these past questions to study, don't just cram the past questions. All right, thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. When you are studying these past questions, don't just cram these past questions. Rather, follow what I have told you. Use these past questions, answer it first, right? After answering them, take it to the book, see the ones that you fail, the ones that you fail, note it, take it back to your textbook, and that is when you start studying, right? And that thing really helped some of my students. I've been teaching jam students for, I started in, can be able to scale your post-UTME. You understand? If you're writing post-UTME, it's almost same thing. Look for the university post-UTME past question that you are, see how you can start answering and take me there. Also, is that you have to create area. Also, is that you have to create a realistic study plan. You have to create a realistic study plan. You have to know who you are. Are you a morning reader? Are you an afternoon reader? Are you an evening reader? How many hours can you study daily? See, there are some people that study for 6 hours. Yeah. There are some people that study for 6 hours, but they will still study for 6 hours. After finishing their study, you can see ask them question, they will still not know what to like study for 2 hours. And when you ask them question, they will be able to defend themselves. So it is not just the amount of hours you spend what you have read, right? So in the course, realistic on it. Right? Whether you are busy in the evening, you have to know how you set this time so that when you want to study, there will be no form of. And also, you have to practice under exam conditions, right? You have to time yourself. Just imagine, okay, this is like as if I am timing myself, as if I am sitting down for an exam, right? See, I can be able to time myself and see how I can answer these questions as if I am writing it in an exam, right? It will really help you when you do practicing under exam condition, that is simulation practices, is that it helps you time yourself. It helps you know how to manage time effectively if eventually you now enter the exam hall, right? I know some of my friends, although on social media, some of them say when they were writing their exams, the system went off, they were not able to meet up their time. Yes, that is it. When you are not practicing under exam condition, when you enter the exam hall finally, you'll be thinking that you have the whole time in the world. No, but it doesn't work like that. You don't have the whole time in the world, right? So in the course of you practicing for your post-UTME, please learn how to practice under exam condition. Like I said, the first thing is, if you want to really pass post-UTME, the first thing I said is that you have to know your school pattern. You have to know the number of questions they set. You have to know their subject combination. Like for the University of Calabar, for science student, that is medical college, you are going to do physics, biology, and um, mathematics, chemistry, physics, biology, English language, and also current affairs, right? I don't know for other universities, but it's very, very important that you know your school pattern of post-UTME, right? And also is that what is happening? My life count as change. All right. It's also important, lastly, that you take care of your. It's not a time that you're forced sick, right? So you have to take care of your mind and body. You have to take care of yourself, eat healthy, take care of yourself, make sure you don't fall sick. And if you fall sick, Yes, bro. All right. My network is so bad. My network is bad. I don't know what's wrong with MTN. Sure. I don't know what's wrong with MTN. But I'm back.